You know, everyone talks about composting like it's the easiest thing in the world. Just throw your scraps in a pile, wait a few months, and boom, nutrient-rich soil. That's what they say. But let's be honest, most of us know the truth. You throw your banana peels, your veggie scraps, maybe some coffee grounds into a bin or pile, and then you wait, and you wait, and you wait some more. Weeks go by, sometimes months, and nothing seems to happen. It's slow, messy, and honestly, kind of discouraging. You want results. You want your garden thriving, not just a pile of decomposing scraps. I ran into this problem over and over again. I wanted compost that actually worked, that didn't take months to see results. I wanted something simple, something I could do at home with things I already had. And while looking into traditional composting methods and natural farming techniques, I stumbled across a fascinating idea: feeding your compost with sugar. Sounds strange, right? Sugar in compost? But here's the thing, sugar isn't just sweet for us. It's like rocket fuel for the microbes that live in your kitchen scraps. These tiny organisms are the real workers behind composting. They break down the organic material, turning it into nutrient-rich soil that your plants can actually use. And like any workers, they need energy, and sugar gives them that energy in spades. The idea blew my mind. If microbes could be given a quick energy boost, could I speed up composting from months down to days? Could I take my kitchen scraps and turn them into something my plants could use in a single week? That's exactly what I set out to test. And the results were astonishing. With just a few simple ingredients, kitchen scraps, a bit of sugar, and water, I was able to create super compost that was alive with nutrients and ready to feed my garden in 7 days. No complicated equipment, no expensive additives, no long waits. Just simple biology at work. Let's break down why this works. Kitchen scraps, your vegetable peels, fruit cores, coffee grounds, eggshells, are already packed with nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, calcium, and trace minerals. Normally, these nutrients break down very slowly, which is why traditional compost can take months. The microbes in your compost pile are active, but they need food themselves to multiply and work efficiently. Sugar provides that food. By adding sugar to your scraps, you're basically giving the microbes a power-up. They start multiplying rapidly, breaking down the organic material much faster than usual and transforming it into a nutrient-dense compost. This isn't some untested theory either. Traditional farmers and natural farming methods have used variations of this idea for decades, using sugars or molasses to accelerate fermentation and composting. What I did was bring that idea into a simple, reproducible method for the home gardener. You don't need a farm, a lab, or expensive equipment, just your kitchen waste, a little sugar, and patience for a single week. The best part? This method doesn't just create compost faster, it creates compost that's alive. That means the microbes are thriving, the nutrients are readily available, and your soil benefits immediately. Healthy, active soil feeds healthy plants. You're not just throwing scraps into a pile and waiting. You're creating a living ecosystem that jumpstarts your garden's growth. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this step by step, so you can take your kitchen scraps and turn them into super compost in just 7 days. By the end, you'll never look at vegetable peels, fruit cores, or coffee grounds the same way again. All right, now that you understand why sugar and microbes can turbocharge your compost, let's get into the process. The first step is collecting your kitchen scraps. I'm talking about everything you'd normally throw away: vegetable peels, fruit cores, coffee grounds, eggshells, even small bits of bread or leftover grains. The key is variety. Different scraps provide different nutrients, which makes your compost richer and more balanced. Chop everything into smaller pieces if you can, because smaller pieces break down faster. Big chunks take longer for the microbes to chew through. Once you've gathered enough, fill a container or bucket about halfway with the scraps. Don't pack it down too tightly. The microbes need airflow to thrive. Next comes the sugar. This is the secret ingredient that makes all the difference. For every bucket of kitchen scraps, I use about 3 heaping tablespoons of sugar. You can use regular white sugar, brown sugar, or even molasses if that's what you have on hand. Dissolve the sugar in a little warm water, just enough to get it fully dissolved, and then pour it over your scraps. The sugar acts as an energy boost for the microbes, essentially waking them up from dormancy. They start multiplying almost immediately, and that's when the composting process really kicks into high gear. If you want to speed things up even more, you can add a small amount of yeast. Yeast isn't necessary, but it accelerates microbial activity, especially in cooler environments. Just one packet mixed into your sugar water solution will give your compost a powerful boost. Once the sugar and yeast mixture is poured over the scraps, stir everything gently to make sure it's evenly distributed. At this point, your container should be damp but not soggy. If it's too wet, the material can start to rot instead of ferment, which is not what we want. Cover the container loosely. You don't want it airtight because the microbes need some oxygen to do their work, but you also want to prevent pests or debris from getting in. A simple lid placed on top or some plastic wrap with a few holes works perfectly. Now comes the waiting part, but it's not just idle time. Over the next 7 days, the microbes go to work. You'll notice some changes in the mixture pretty quickly. By day 1 or 2, the compost should start to bubble slightly and develop a sweet, earthy smell. Don't worry if it smells a little strong. That's a sign the fermentation is happening. Every day, give the container a quick stir. This redistributes the microbes and ensures that all the scraps are being broken down evenly. As the days pass, the texture will change. It will start to look darker, richer, and more uniform. By day 3 or 4, you'll see that much of the original structure of the scraps has disappeared. The smaller bits are starting to form a crumbly, nutrient-rich mass, while any liquid that forms on the bottom is packed with soluble nutrients. This liquid is essentially a concentrated natural fertilizer that can feed your plants directly once it's diluted. If you follow these steps correctly, by day 7, you'll have super compost, a living, nutrient-rich mixture that's ready to go into your garden. It will be dark, crumbly, and full of life. The microbes are active, the nutrients are unlocked, and your soil will benefit immediately. You can use the solid compost to improve your garden beds or dilute the liquid portion to feed your plants directly. This method doesn't just save time, it creates compost that is alive with microbes, which is exactly what healthy soil needs to thrive. And that's the process in a nutshell. Collect your scraps, add sugar and optional yeast, stir, cover, and let nature do its work for 7 days. With just a little attention each day, you can turn your kitchen waste into a powerful soil booster that would normally take months to create. It's simple, it's cheap, and most importantly, it works. By the 7th day, the transformation is incredible. What started as a pile of kitchen scraps has turned into a dark, crumbly, nutrient-rich compost that's full of life. You can literally see the difference. The materials that looked unrecognizable and messy at the start have now broken down into a uniform, earthy mixture. If you used a slightly wetter batch, you'll also notice a thick, dark liquid at the bottom. This is packed with nutrients that your plants can absorb immediately. It's essentially a natural, homemade fertilizer that's ready to feed your garden without any waiting. When you apply this compost to your soil, the results are immediate. The solid compost improves soil structure, making it easier for roots to grow and for water to penetrate. It also adds organic matter, which helps your garden retain moisture longer, reducing the need for constant watering. The microbes that thrive during fermentation continue to work in the soil, breaking down organic matter and making nutrients more available for your plants. Over time, this creates a healthy, self-sustaining soil ecosystem that supports stronger, more resilient plants. If you use the liquid portion, it acts as a concentrated fertilizer. Dilute it about 1 part compost tea to 10 parts water and pour it directly around the base of your plants. You'll notice a difference within days. Greener leaves, stronger stems, and faster growth overall. Vegetables, flowers, herbs, even potted plants respond incredibly well to this type of nutrient-rich liquid because it's immediately available for absorption. Unlike slow-release commercial fertilizers, which can take weeks to be effective, your plants get an instant boost. But the benefits don't stop with plant growth. This method is also sustainable and environmentally friendly. You're not throwing away food scraps that would otherwise end up in a landfill. You're not spending money on chemical fertilizers that can harm beneficial soil microbes and pollute water systems. Instead, you're recycling natural resources right in your own kitchen and garden. Every banana peel, every carrot top, every coffee ground has value, and this method unlocks it. Over time, regular use of this super compost can completely transform your garden. Even poor, depleted, or previously dead soil can be revived. The microbial life you've nurtured with sugar and kitchen scraps continues to multiply, feeding itself and your plants. You create a closed-loop system where nothing is wasted, and everything contributes to healthy, thriving soil. Lawns, garden beds, potted plants, they all benefit. Your garden becomes more resilient to pests, diseases, and drought, simply because the soil itself is strong and alive. This approach also empowers you as a gardener. You no longer have to rely on expensive store-bought fertilizers or wait for months to see results. You're in control of your soil's health, and you can see the results quickly. The satisfaction of taking scraps that would normally be thrown away and turning them into a living, thriving ecosystem is something every gardener should experience. So, to recap, collect your kitchen waste, add sugar and optionally yeast, stir and cover for 7 days, and you have compost and liquid fertilizer that feeds both your soil and your plants. The process is fast, cheap, effective, and sustainable. Your plants grow stronger, your soil becomes healthier, and you've turned something that would have been trash into treasure for your garden. Give it a try, and you'll never look at kitchen scraps the same way again. This is more than compost. It's a way to bring your garden to life, quickly and naturally. If you found this helpful, share it with your friends, try it at home, and subscribe for more gardening hacks that actually work. Your plants and your soil will thank you.